In this video, I'm going to talk about something I call the split trick, which is a neat little trick you can use when doing reports. So imagine you have a database of transactions. So each transaction has a date, each transaction has a value, and there's a couple of relations. One relation to an account, which is the source account, and one relation to an account, which is the destination account. So you've got a from account and a to account. Now, you want to create a report view to look at these transactions over time. So you want the date on the x-axis and you want to see the amount. Now you can do that in a report view, no problem. But the problem is, what do you do when you want to show where the money came from and where the money went? Well, you can add color coding or you can add some labeling to show information for the from account, but then how do you show the to account? You can mix it up. So for example, you could have grouping in the y-axis for the from account and then color coding to show the to account, but it's not very intuitive. You want to show the money coming in and going out. So this is where the split trick comes into play. The split trick uses the split function in report view. So what's the split function? The split function is a function that takes a text string and splits it according to a delimiter, like a comma or a pipe or a semicolon or whatever you choose. And as a result, it creates multiple entries, multiple data points for each entity. I'll show you an example of how this works, putting aside the context of transactions for the time being. Just a simple report where you've got a set of entities, and within each entity there's a text string. Now here I'm going to show a text string with A, B, C. If I now create a table report, normally you would just show a single entity. However, if you add the split function on that text field I've created and split by comma, that one entity will now be shown as three rows in the table representing A, B and C, because you've split the text using the comma as the delimiter. So that means you've effectively got 3 data points for the same entity. So what does this mean for transactions? Well, I'm going to add a formula field in the transaction database, which is simply a formula, which is the string 1, 2. And that, because it's a formula field, it's read only. So that means every entity in the transaction database will have this text string and it will be the same for all of them. Now what I can do is I can go to my chart, and for the y-axis, for the amount, I can create 2 data points. So what I'm going to do is going to create a formula for the y-axis. So instead of just showing amount, I'm going to use the split function. And if the output of the split function is 1, then I'm going to show the amount as positive. And if the output of the split function is 2, I'm going to show the amount is negative. This means that for every transaction in the database, we now have 2 columns in our chart. A positive column for the amount and a negative column for the amount. So how does this help us? Well, what this means is we can attribute the positive amount to the account, which was the destination account, the to account, and we can attribute the minus amount value to the source account. So what I'm going to do is add a grouping on the y-axis, which again uses the split function, and if the split is 1, attribute it to the to account, the destination account, and otherwise attribute it to the from account, the source account. So that means now I have a chart split on the y-axis according to different accounts, with positive amounts representing incoming transactions where it's the destination account, and minus amounts representing outgoing transactions where money's going out. So there you go, that's the split trick, and it can be useful in quite a few different places. Anytime you want an entity to show up more than once in a report view, just add a formula field with a text string and then use that text string with the split function to create multiple data points for the same entity. Anyway, let us know if you have any great ideas for using the split trick. Otherwise, see you again soon.